I was driving home along Maple Street, the sun setting behind the hills, when a black SUV suddenly swerved and blocked my path. The driver, a tall, muscular man in his late 40s with a menacing glare, got out and approached my car. As he leaned into my window, I recognized him instantly. It was Steven, my wife's lover. "If you ever mention our affair," he hissed, "I'll hunt you down and crush you like a cockroach. Consider this your final warning." His threatening words echoed in my mind as I watched him walk back to his SUV and drive off. I sat there for a moment, gathering my thoughts, before continuing home. The streets were quiet, with only a few pedestrians strolling along the sidewalks and the occasional car passing by. When I arrived home, I parked my car in the driveway and walked into the house. The smell of dinner wafted from the kitchen. My wife, Jennifer, was busy preparing a meal. She glanced up and smiled, acting as if everything was normal. Little did she know, her world was about to change. I went to my office and shut the door. Sitting at my desk, I opened my laptop and checked my emails. There it was, an email from Charles, the popular YouTuber who specialized in exposing cheaters. I had sent him all the explicit text messages and videos between Jennifer and Steven. Charles replied, confirming he had received everything and was ready to upload the content. Later that evening, I made my way to the living room, where Jennifer was watching TV. I joined her, trying to act as if nothing was amiss. My mind, however, was racing with thoughts of what was about to unfold. The next morning, I woke up early and checked my phone. Charles had already uploaded the video, and it was gaining traction fast. By the time Jennifer woke up, the video had gone viral, amassing millions of views. I watched her check her phone, her face paling as she realized what had happened. As the day progressed, the fallout began. Jennifer started receiving calls and messages from friends and family, all expressing their shock and disappointment. At work, her colleagues whispered behind her back, and her boss called her in for a meeting. By the end of the day, she was suspended pending further investigation. Meanwhile, Steven was facing his own set of problems. He worked as a manager at a local car dealership, and his coworkers couldn't stop talking about the video. Customers came in, some just to see him in person. His boss called him into the office and demanded an explanation. The scandal had reached far and wide, leaving Steven scrambling to control the damage. Back at home, I kept a low profile, watching as the pieces of my plan fell into place. In the evening, I received a call from Charles. The video had not only gone viral, but had also brought in significant revenue from sponsorships and ads. Charles thanked me and said he would be sending a substantial check my way. With the money from Charles, I started planning my escape. I had always dreamed of living in Italy, and now I had the means to make it happen. I booked a flight and started packing, leaving behind the life that had caused me so much pain. As I prepared to leave, I reflected on the events that had led to this moment. Steven's threats, Jennifer's betrayal, and the viral video had all played a part in reshaping my future. I was ready to start anew, in a place where I could leave the past behind and build a better life for myself. What Steven didn't know was that I had already sent copies of their explicit text messages and videos to Charles, a popular YouTuber who specialized in exposing cheaters. I compiled everything on a USB drive and mailed it to him, using a P.O. box in a neighboring town to ensure anonymity. Charles received the package on a sunny Tuesday morning. He immediately recognized the potential of the content and set to work. By that evening, he had edited the footage, adding his signature commentary and dramatic music. The video was scheduled for release the next day at noon, prime time for maximum viewership. Wednesday afternoon, I sat in my office at work, pretending to focus on spreadsheets. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications as the video went live. Within an hour, it had thousands of views. By the end of the day, it had gone viral, amassing over 10 million views. Steven was now an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. In Springfield, news spread quickly. Local forums and social media platforms were ablaze with discussions about the scandal. People shared the video, adding their own comments and reactions. Memes featuring Steven's face popped up everywhere, turning him into a laughingstock. At the dealership where Steven worked, the atmosphere was tense. His coworkers whispered behind his back, and customers who recognized him from the video smirked or openly laughed. His boss, a stern man named Mr. Thompson, called him into the office. "We can't have this kind of distraction here," he said, handing Stephen a notice of suspension. Meanwhile, I went about my day-to-day activities, keeping a low profile. I stopped by the local grocery store to pick up some essentials. As I walked through the aisles, I overheard snippets of conversations about the video. At the coffee shop on Elm Street, the barista handed me my coffee with a knowing smile. It seemed like everyone in town was talking about it. That evening, I received an email from Charles. He was ecstatic about the video's success and thanked me for the exclusive content. He mentioned the influx of new subscribers and the lucrative sponsorship deals that had come his way. Attached to the email was a receipt for a substantial payment, a share of the ad revenue generated from the viral video. I decided to celebrate quietly. I cooked a simple dinner and watched a documentary, letting the events of the day sink in. The following morning, I began planning my future. With the money from Charles, I had the means to pursue my dream of moving to Italy. I contacted a real estate agent in Florence and started looking at apartments online. As the days passed, the fallout from the video continued. Stephen's life unraveled as he became more isolated. Jennifer faced her own set of challenges. Her employer, a conservative bank, frowned upon the scandal, and she was called in for a meeting with HR. She spent her days trying to manage the crisis, but it was clear her reputation had taken a severe hit. While Jennifer and Stephen dealt with their crumbling lives, I focused on my new beginning. I packed my belongings, finalized the purchase of a cozy apartment near the Ponte Vecchio, and booked my flight to Florence. The plan I had set in motion had worked perfectly, paving the way for a fresh start in a place where no one knew my past. From my home in Springfield, I observed as the aftermath of the video unfolded. Social media platforms buzzed with memes and parodies featuring Stephen's face, turning him into a local joke. Reaction videos flooded YouTube, each one adding to his notoriety. It seemed everyone had an opinion on Stephen's downfall. Charles, the YouTuber who exposed Stephen, saw his channel explode with newfound popularity. Sponsorships and ad revenue poured in as the video continued to rack up views. His commentary on Stephen's scandal became the talk of the town, amplifying his influence in the online community. In the quiet corners of coffee shops and grocery store checkout lines, conversations inevitably turned to Stephen's public humiliation. People whispered and chuckled, sharing their favorite moments from the viral video. It was a spectacle that dominated local discourse for days. At the car dealership where Stephen worked, the atmosphere grew tense. Customers came in not just to buy cars, but also to catch a glimpse of the infamous manager. His colleagues avoided eye contact, unsure of how to react. Stephen himself appeared visibly shaken, trying unsuccessfully to maintain a facade of normalcy. In contrast, I kept a low profile, going about my daily routine with a sense of detached satisfaction. I stopped by the library on Main Street to return overdue books and noticed a group of teenagers giggling as they watched Stephen's video on their phones. The librarian, Mrs. Johnson, sighed as she checked in my books, shaking her head at the latest gossip. Back at home, I received a call from Charles. He thanked me again for providing such compelling content and mentioned plans for future collaborations. His excitement was palpable over the phone as he discussed potential new series ideas inspired by the viral success. In the evenings, I took walks around the neighborhood, enjoying the quiet streets and the familiar sights of Springfield. The local park was a haven of tranquility, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding in Stephen's life. I found solace in these moments of calm, grateful to be on the sidelines of the drama I had ignited. As the days passed, the initial frenzy surrounding Stephen's scandal began to subside. News cycles moved on to other stories, and social media trends shifted. Yet, the impact on Stephen's reputation was lasting. He struggled to regain his footing in the community, haunted by the echoes of his own mistakes. Meanwhile, Jennifer faced her own challenges. Her workplace became uncomfortable as colleagues whispered behind her back. She attended meetings with HR, trying to salvage her career amidst the fallout. Her days were filled with phone calls and emails, each one a reminder of how quickly life could unravel. Through it all, I maintained a sense of detachment, focusing on practical matters like packing for my upcoming move. Italy beckoned with promises of a fresh start and a chance to leave behind the chaos I had orchestrated. I looked forward to the quiet beauty of Florence, where I could begin anew, far from the repercussions of Stephen and Jennifer's actions. The day after Charles's call, a courier delivered a package to my doorstep. Inside was a hefty check from him, a token of appreciation for the scandalous content that had skyrocketed his channel. The amount was substantial, more than I had anticipated, and it sparked a new idea. With the windfall from Charles, I saw an opportunity for a fresh start. I spent hours researching online, exploring potential business ventures. Eventually, I settled on an idea that seemed promising, a boutique wine shop specializing in Italian wines. Italy had always held a special allure for me, and this new venture felt like a natural progression. I contacted a business consultant recommended by a friend. We met at a cozy cafe downtown, where we discussed market trends and potential locations for the shop. The consultant, Mr. Davis, was impressed with my business plan and offered valuable insights into navigating the local market in Florence. Excited by the possibilities, I began drafting a detailed business proposal. I researched suppliers, comparing prices and quality of Italian wines. The evenings were spent immersed in spreadsheets and financial projections, mapping out budgets and potential profit margins. In between business planning, I made time for practical matters. I visited the bank to set up a new account for the business and met with a lawyer to discuss legal requirements for starting a company in Italy. Each step brought me closer to my goal of establishing a foothold in my dream country. As I packed my belongings, I sorted through years of accumulated possessions, deciding what to keep and what to sell. The process was both liberating and nostalgic, a tangible sign of my impending departure from Springfield. I donated furniture to local charities and organized a yard sale to lighten my load. Friends and neighbors stopped by during the yard sale, offering well wishes and sharing local gossip. The topic of Stephen's downfall inevitably surfaced, but I remained discreet, preferring to focus on the future rather than dwell on past scandals. Amidst the preparations, I found moments of reflection. One afternoon, I took a solitary stroll through Springfield's botanical gardens, savoring the serenity of the lush surroundings. The vibrant colors of blooming flowers and the gentle rustling of leaves provided a brief respite from the whirlwind of activities. With departure looming, I booked a flight to Florence and arranged temporary accommodation while I searched for a permanent residence. The prospect of exploring a new city filled me with anticipation. I researched cultural events and local traditions, eager to immerse myself in the rich tapestry of Italian life. As I finalized plans for the move, I reflected on the chain of events that had led me to this moment. The scandal, orchestrated with precision, had inadvertently opened doors to new possibilities. Italy beckoned with promises of adventure and reinvention, offering a chance to leave behind the chaos of Springfield and embrace a future filled with promise. With a portion of the money I received from Charles, I decided to invest in some personal security. Daniel, a seasoned private investigator recommended by a friend, seemed like the perfect choice. We met at a discreet cafe downtown, where I outlined my request for his services. Daniel was a meticulous man in his early 50s, with a sharp eye for detail. He listened intently as I explained my situation without divulging unnecessary details. Understanding the gravity of my request, he assured me of confidentiality and began his investigation promptly. Over the following weeks, Daniel delved into the complexities of my past and present. He combed through public records, conducted discreet interviews, and followed potential leads with utmost discretion. I provided him with specific names and locations to focus his efforts. One crisp autumn morning, Daniel called me with his findings. We met at a quiet park on the outskirts of town, where he presented his discoveries in a sealed envelope. Inside were detailed reports, photos, and corroborating evidence that shed light on certain aspects of my past I hadn't fully understood. The information was both enlightening and unsettling. It revealed connections and insights into my life that had remained hidden, hinting at deeper layers of complexity and intrigue. Daniel's thoroughness and professionalism reassured me that I had made the right decision in hiring him. Armed with the evidence, I made a calculated decision. Aware of the potential implications, I anonymously forwarded the pertinent findings to the relevant authorities. It was a strategic move aimed at addressing certain unresolved matters discreetly and responsibly. In the days that followed, I maintained a cautious demeanor, conscious of the sensitive nature of the information uncovered. Daniel continued to monitor developments discreetly, providing periodic updates and advice on navigating the aftermath of his investigation. Meanwhile, life in Springfield carried on with its usual rhythm. I frequented local cafes and bookstores, blending into the backdrop of everyday life while silently processing the revelations brought to light by Daniel's investigation. As I prepared for my upcoming move to Italy, the investigation served as a sobering reminder of the importance of clarity and closure. It underscored the need to confront the past with a measured approach, ensuring that unresolved issues were addressed methodically and with integrity. With Daniel's assistance, I had gained a deeper understanding of my circumstances and a renewed sense of purpose as I embarked on the next chapter of my life. The investigation had provided clarity amidst uncertainty, paving the way for a future shaped by informed decisions and a commitment to moving forward with resolve. As the weeks passed, Stephen's life took an unexpected turn. The viral video had left an indelible mark, transforming him from a familiar face in Springfield to a subject of public scrutiny. His once bustling social media profiles now lay dormant, overshadowed by the relentless tide of memes and commentary. I, on the other hand, quietly navigated the aftermath of the scandal. With the financial boost from Charles's gratitude, I explored new avenues for personal growth. One sunny afternoon, I visited a local art studio tucked away in the heart of downtown. The vibrant paintings and sculptures inspired me to reconnect with my own creative pursuits. In the evenings, I frequented a neighborhood gym, where I embarked on a fitness regimen to channel my energy productively. The rhythmic clink of weights and the steady hum of treadmills provided a welcome escape from the noise of social media and gossip. At a community fundraiser held at the town hall, I volunteered to assist with event coordination. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as guests mingled over glasses of sparkling cider and trays of hors d'oeuvres. It was a refreshing change of pace, a reminder of the resilience and camaraderie within the community. During a routine visit to the local farmers market, I struck up a conversation with Brenda, a vendor known for her organic produce. We exchanged pleasantries and swapped tips on gardening. Her passion for sustainable farming ignited my curiosity, prompting me to consider starting a small herb garden at my new residence in Florence. As autumn faded into winter, I attended a lecture at the town library on Italian cuisine. The guest speaker, an enthusiastic chef from Milan, shared anecdotes about regional dishes and culinary traditions. His vivid descriptions of fresh pasta and aromatic herbs sparked my imagination, fueling my anticipation for the culinary delights awaiting me in Italy. In preparation for my move, I sorted through travel guides and language learning apps, eager to immerse myself in the cultural tapestry of Florence. I practiced basic phrases and familiarized myself with local customs, envisioning the cobblestone streets and historic landmarks that awaited me. One crisp morning, I visited a quaint bookstore on Elm Street, browsing shelves lined with leather-bound classics and contemporary novels. The scent of coffee wafted from a nearby cafe, enticing passers-by with its rich aroma. I selected a guidebook on Florence and exchanged pleasantries with the bookstore owner, who shared stories of his own travels through Italy. With each passing day, my excitement for the journey ahead grew. I finalized arrangements for my flight and temporary accommodation, eager to embark on a new chapter in a city steeped in history and artistry. The viral scandal that had initially disrupted my life now seemed like a distant memory, a catalyst for personal reinvention and discovery. As the seasons shifted, Springfield settled into its familiar rhythms, while I continued to prepare for my upcoming move to Italy. The town buzzed with whispers of the recent events, but life carried on, seemingly unaffected by the transient storms of scandal. I dedicated mornings to exploring local hiking trails that wound through the nearby foothills. The crisp air and vibrant foliage provided a serene backdrop for reflection, a contrast to the digital chatter that once dominated my thoughts. On weekends, I volunteered at a community center, helping organize activities for local children. Crafts and games filled the air with laughter and excitement, reminding me of the simple joys found in shared moments of creativity and camaraderie. In the afternoons, I attended Italian language classes at the town's adult education center. The melodic cadence of new words and phrases filled the classroom, transporting me mentally to the bustling streets of Florence that awaited my arrival. In pursuit of culinary inspiration, I frequented a cozy bakery on Oak Street known for its artisanal bread and pastries. The aroma of freshly baked goods greeted me as I sampled delicate pastries and sipped espresso, imagining the flavors awaiting me in Italy's famed cafes. One evening, I joined a local photography club for a sunset shoot at a scenic overlook on the outskirts of town. The panoramic views of rolling hills and distant city lights provided a canvas for capturing fleeting moments of beauty, a practice that grounded me in the present amid preparations for the future. Amidst packing boxes and sorting belongings, I discovered forgotten treasures tucked away in attic corners and basement shelves. Each item sparked memories of chapters closed and new beginnings on the horizon, reinforcing the transformative power of embracing change. At a farewell gathering hosted by friends, we shared stories and laughter over a potluck dinner. The warmth of friendship and support filled the room, a testament to the bonds forged amidst life's twists and turns. As departure day drew near, I finalized travel arrangements and bid farewell to familiar streets and faces. Springfield, with its quiet charm and resilient spirit, had been a backdrop for a pivotal chapter in my journey. With a mixture of anticipation and gratitude, I boarded the plane bound for Florence, carrying with me the lessons learned and the dreams awaiting fulfillment. The viral whirlwind that had swept through my life had settled into a distant memory, leaving in its wake a sense of readiness for the adventures that lay ahead in a new land. Meanwhile, I embarked on a journey to a coastal town named Port Harbor. Nestled between rugged cliffs and sweeping beaches, it offered a sanctuary far from the bustle of city life. Renting a cozy cabin overlooking the shimmering bay, I immersed myself in the tranquility of coastal living. Mornings began with brisk walks along the sandy shore, where seabirds called overhead and the salty breeze invigorated my senses. During the day, I explored the town's quaint shops and local markets, discovering artisanal crafts and fresh seafood caught just offshore. The town's residents greeted me warmly, sharing stories of their lives intertwined with the sea. In the afternoons, I volunteered at a marine conservation center, assisting with rescues of injured sea turtles and participating in beach cleanups. The opportunity to contribute to environmental efforts brought a sense of fulfillment and purpose to my days. Evenings were spent under starlit skies, gathered with newfound friends around crackling bonfires on the beach. We shared laughter and toasted marshmallows, forging bonds strengthened by shared experiences and the timeless rhythm of the tides. As weeks turned into months, I found inspiration in the coastal landscape, capturing its beauty through sketches and photography. Sunsets painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, a daily spectacle that reminded me of the fleeting yet profound moments in life. Amidst this new chapter, I cultivated a small garden behind my cabin, tending to herbs and vegetables that thrived in the maritime climate. The earthy scent of soil and the satisfaction of nurturing new life grounded me in the present, away from the echoes of the past. On weekends, I ventured into the nearby hills, where hiking trails meandered through ancient forests and overlooked cascading waterfalls. Each path offered a glimpse into nature's resilience and the interconnectedness of all living things. Reflecting on the journey that brought me here, I felt a sense of renewal and possibility. Port Harbor had become more than a destination. It was a haven where I rediscovered purpose and forged a path forward, guided by the rhythm of the sea and the wisdom of quiet moments spent in its embrace. Meanwhile, I made the decision to start anew in Florence, Italy. Packing my bags efficiently, I boarded a flight and landed in the heart of this historic city. Finding a charming apartment close to the Ponte Vecchio, I settled into a routine that blended work and exploration. Mornings began with brisk walks along the Arno River, where the city woke up to the aroma of freshly brewed espresso and the chatter of locals starting their day. The cobblestone streets led me past centuries-old buildings adorned with intricate frescoes and ornate statues, each corner revealing a piece of Florence's storied past. Venturing into local cafes, I sampled traditional Italian pastries and engaged in casual conversations with baristas who shared their favorite spots for authentic cuisine. The blend of flavors, rich espresso, artisanal gelato, and freshly baked bread became a daily delight. During the day, I immersed myself in the operations of my new business, a boutique specializing in handmade leather goods. Collaborating with local artisans, I learned the craftsmanship behind each piece and curated a collection that honored Florence's legacy as a hub of artistry and design. Weekends were reserved for deeper exploration. I climbed the steps of the Duomo, marveling at its intricate marble facade and panoramic views of the city. Museums like the Uffizi Gallery and Accademia beckoned with masterpieces by Renaissance masters, each visit deepening my appreciation for art history. In the afternoons, I frequented the Boboli Gardens, where lush greenery and sculpted hedges provided a tranquil retreat from the bustling city center. The scent of citrus trees mingled with the sound of trickling fountains, creating a serene backdrop for quiet reflection. Evenings brought a blend of cultural experiences. I attended classical music concerts in historic churches, where the acoustics enhanced the beauty of Mozart and Vivaldi's compositions. Dinners at trattorias offered a taste of regional specialties, wild boar ragu, freshly caught seafood, and Tuscan wines that paired perfectly with each dish. As months passed, Florence became more than a destination, it became my home. I navigated its streets with confidence, greeted familiar faces in local markets, and conversed effortlessly in the melodic cadence of Italian. With each day, I embraced the opportunity to build a new life shaped by the city's timeless allure and my own sense of possibility. One evening, I stood by the window of my new apartment, watching the sunset paint the Florence skyline in hues of gold and orange. The tranquility of the moment allowed me to reflect on the journey that brought me here. The bustling streets below, filled with locals and tourists alike, reminded me of the vibrant pulse of Florence. I had embraced this city as my new home, a place where each day brought fresh discoveries and opportunities. In the quiet of my apartment, I mapped out plans for the future. The challenges I had faced in the past were now lessons guiding me forward. I immersed myself in the cultural tapestry of Florence, exploring its museums, sampling its cuisine, and learning the nuances of its language. My days were filled with engaging activities, morning walks along the Arno River, visits to historic landmarks like the Palazzo Pitti and the Basilica di Santa Croce, and moments of inspiration in local art galleries. Each experience added depth to my understanding of this enchanting city. Evenings were spent in neighborhood trattorias, savoring dishes crafted with local ingredients and sharing stories with fellow diners. The camaraderie and warmth of the Italian hospitality made me feel welcomed and accepted. I found solace in the simple pleasures, a leisurely bike ride through the Tuscan countryside, discovering hidden gelaterias that served the creamiest pistachio gelato, and attending open-air concerts in quaint piazzas under the starlit sky. As I gazed out over Florence's rooftops, I felt a sense of peace and contentment. The decision to start anew had been daunting, but it had also been liberating. I had embraced change and found fulfillment in unexpected places. In the weeks ahead, I looked forward to further exploration, venturing beyond Florence to nearby towns and vineyards, connecting with locals through community events, and continuing to expand my business ventures in this dynamic city. Each day brought new opportunities for growth and discovery. Florence had become more than a geographical location. It was a canvas on which I could paint a new chapter of my life, a chapter filled with possibility and promise. Meanwhile, Jennifer and Stephen found themselves grappling with the aftermath of their decisions. Their journey became a lesson in the unpredictability of life's paths, while I continued to forge ahead, guided by newfound optimism and determination. Jennifer, once a pillar in her community, faced a period of introspection as she navigated the repercussions of recent events. She sought solace in familiar routines, yet each day brought reminders of the bridges she had burned and the trust she had betrayed. Stephen, on the other hand, attempted to reconcile with the fragments of his reputation. His attempts to rebuild were met with skepticism and whispered gossip, leaving him to contemplate the price of his misguided choices. Meanwhile, in the bustling streets of Florence, I embraced the vibrant tapestry of daily life. Mornings were filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread from the neighborhood bakery, a staple of my morning routine. I savored the rich flavors of Italian espresso as I planned my day ahead, jotting down ideas for my expanding business ventures. Days were spent exploring the city's cultural gems, immersive visits to the Uffizi Gallery, where masterpieces told stories of centuries past, and leisurely strolls through the Boboli Gardens, where tranquility met lush greenery. Each corner of Florence offered a glimpse into its storied past, a testament to resilience and artistic brilliance. Evenings unfolded with quiet dinners at trattorias tucked away in cobblestone alleys, where conversations flowed effortlessly in a blend of Italian and English. I found camaraderie in fellow expatriates and locals alike, forging connections that bridged cultural boundaries. Weekends became opportunities for exploration beyond Florence's borders, a scenic drive through the Chianti countryside, where vineyards stretched to the horizon and medieval villages beckoned with their timeless charm. I reveled in the simplicity of picnics by the Arno River, surrounded by friends who shared my appreciation for the beauty of Tuscany. As the seasons shifted, I marveled at Florence's ability to weave its spell, a city that embraced the echoes of history while embracing the promise of the future. The cautionary tale of Jennifer and Stephen lingered in the background, a reminder that choices shape destinies, yet resilience and renewal are always within reach. With each passing day, I embraced the lessons learned from my own journey, a testament to the transformative power of embracing change and seizing opportunities. Florence had become more than a destination. It was a canvas on which I painted a new narrative, one of growth, exploration, and endless possibilities.